All right, so RESN is a maybe. So pre-market high on RESN is 15. So there might be a scalp on that, but the volume is pretty light pre-market. Watching to see what it does. CHFS, LEDS is weak, selling off a bit. Watching the scans. No Boeing alerts yet. Quiet. Couple larger float stocks on the scans.
DAC.
Kind of a non-event type of open. The bell rings and kind of nothing happens, right? It sort of feels like one of those days to start. RESN is worth watching, but I don't know that it's going to do anything miraculous. I'll take a starter. I've got a starter on RESN at 413. And we'll see if it opens up a little bit. So at a high of 413 on RESN. Now the high is 27. So on this one, I would say over 27, be a possible scalp to add. So I'll put an order at 27 on RESN.
DPW. ESND, DPW.
So we want to see that first 1 minute candle make a new high.
OMEX.
Stopped out RESN for a $450 loss.
MDCA. MDCA.
So keeping the loss small. Mara, keep an eye on it. A little bit of a pop there. Mara, 10,000 share sellers on the ask.
MDCA. MDCA, MDCA, MDCA.
Riot on the scanners with a high of 75.
MDCA.
So popped from 715 to 775.
MDCA.
Again, it's blockchain, so maybe not our absolute favorite sector, but we can watch the 1 minute pullback. Cone popping up a little bit, but again, not really sure it's worth trying on the third day. It's a big drop on Riot there, back to 738. RESN, kind of sideways. About the same price where I originally got in.
BLNK.
NETE. I'm long NETE at 850. That one I actually like on that 1 minute pullback right there. And this has a nice daily. I'm long NETE. See if it gets a break over $9. I'll put an order at $8.90 to add on NETE. It's a nice daily chart with resistance not until 950.
BLNK, BLNK. NETE.
Stopped out at 896 for 75. For $2,938. I just hit the bid. I'm having a hard time where I'm losing my quotes, and I right now have no quotes. It says 889 by 894. I saw it hit the scanner up here at 936, so I pressed Control Z and sold. But I have no quotes right now. I have no charts. I have no quotes. Looks like I hit a high of 940. It's really, really frustrating when this is happening. I don't understand what's causing it. Maybe I'll set up my my mobile hotspot, see if that does better. So the high was 940. When I say no quotes, I'll show you what it looks like. I don't know if it still is broadcasting,
OPHC.
but everything will just stop. I have nothing. I can't see my charts. I can't see level 2. It just everything gets disconnected.
Optimal. SELB.
So in NETE, if I'd had quotes, I would have added at 9, and I would have been probably selling at 925, 930. So that's another. That would have probably been a 10,000 share position and more like $5,000 profit instead of 3,200.
CCIH. XSPA.
I'm just sitting tight right now.
MYND. SEII. MYND.
Really slow today, yeah. Only there's only been one decent
NYND.
opportunity, which was on NETE, which is a good daily chart. I do like when they're curling like that and kind of breaking over their moving averages. That is a nice daily chart. But yeah, just a quick little trade, and then having an internet issue in the middle of the trade didn't help. So yeah, right now just kind of playing it safe and not going to over trade. Just wait for good quality setups. Not much on the scanners. I have a couple different offsets. I have an offset to sell right at the ask, and I have offsets to sell underneath the ask, and I can move my orders just with my up and down arrow. So if we have a very, like a thickly traded stock, I'm having trouble getting out on the ask, then in that case, I'll try to sneak under the ask. So instead of selling it like 450, I'll sell it 449.
BLNKW. CLWT.
Well, with SureTrader, you can't do direct routing, so you just have to use their smart route, unfortunately. You used to be able to do direct routing, and then they disabled it. So, yeah. Yeah, NETE hit the scan at, what was it? Oh, I guess someone must have called it in the room. Because I got it in at 8:50. So I think someone must have called it in the room.
Here, MYND. 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 Here. Here.
You can see the overall market coming up and testing that 266 level on the daily.
BLNKW.
I think I heard this morning that they said yes, there were 7 days last year where the the markets moved more than 1% in one day. And this year, it's already happened on 23 days, and we're only in April. VSTM, 36 million share float, 508,000 shares of volume. Starting to open up a little bit.
MYND. PANL.
Yep, Riot opening up a little bit more. There might be something there we can work with. So Riot has a high right now of $8. See if it pulls back for a second. Again, it's blockchain, which is what makes me a little iffy on it, but it does have room on the daily for sure.
DFFN.
So typically I would go for a whole dollar scalp. I'm holding on it, I'm hesitating. because it is kind of extended, and today the market has felt a little on the slow side.
MYND. MYND. MYND.
Mara is forming a 5-minute pullback, so that may be one to watch, but it's on the cheaper side. It's only 15 cents from the top and bottom of that move, so I'm not sure. Blockchain is cryptocurrency related. We haven't seen any circuit breaker halts today. Volatility a little bit lower than the previous days. I see MYND popping up a little bit. It's up substantially from $1.50 to 210. Would need a pullback to give us a safe entry, I think.
EFOI. OPGN.
No, blockchain's not a bank. It's just the technology used for processing cryptocurrency transactions. MYND doing a 1-minute micro pullback. Might be a scalp setup there over 210.
MYND.
25,000 share buyer at 95. See if that 25,000 share buyer holds.
MRDN. MYND.
I kind of looked at it and thought, well, it's interesting, but it's awfully extended on the 5-minute chart to be buying up here. 2, 4, 6 green candles. You could get that sort of final extension, that final push, as you see the volume increasing, and maybe it taps 220, but it's only at 205 right now, 208 by 209. Hitting the scanners now, the high-day Momo scanners. That'll bring in some more people maybe. You've got to be a little careful on these. The pullback at 2 there that was not the first 1-minute pullback. That was the third. We had one at 180 and a second one at 190. And now this is the third. And we have to be careful buying the third pullback, especially when the market's a little slower. This would have worked. It would have been a winner, but better to be conservative and protect the profits than risk giving them up. If we were seeing circuit breaker halts today and really like frenzied momentum, I'd be much more aggressive. I would have bought it at $2, or 205, 210. But today's been a little slower. So, my opinion on this is really that it would need a 5-minute pullback to look good. It doesn't mean it won't go to 240 or 250, but it makes it really hard to buy it in this area. Putting screen share back up. So high day on MYND is 27. You can see there was a 25,000 share sell, or something fairly big seller at up 45%. In this area, again, if you had the risk tolerance, you could take a scalp over 225 with a stop at 219, but it's definitely higher risk at buying it up this high. I think this candle is sort of looking like it's going to close as a doji. So I've got a starter at 23. I'll just take a little scalp on MYND. Try to scalp it over a high a day on a break of 25. The risk is a little higher. I have a cushion to be a little more aggressive, so. Stopped out. So $600 loss, not a big deal. Well, I don't remember, guys. I don't have shares available to short any of these stocks, so can't short them. I can only trade them one direction.
Any.
ANY is a little on the cheap side. Now, most brokers don't have shares available to borrow on stocks under $20. Sometimes you can reserve them, but usually you can't, and there's a cost to reserve them anyways, so you have to call them and try to reserve them and pay for the shares.
Any. OMEX.
We have a class on cryptocurrencies as part of the Warrior Pro. If you go in there, you'll see the crypto class, and we talk about blockchain in there.